Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video.
Hey everybody, it's Joe. I'm back out here at Giga Texas. It's Monday the 24th of February 2025 and we're almost into March. Can you believe how fast this year is going? Now there's a lot of great information and news that has to do with Tesla and Giga Texas today. First of them is on yesterday there was the Ride the Lightning podcast, and they had an interview with Lars Moravy, the Vice President of Engineering of Tesla. And we got a lot of really great information from the Cybercab to the Model S and X, the new low-cost vehicle production here at Giga Texas, and a lot of other things that we can expect to see in the near future. So I'll put the link here at the bottom of the screen and also in the video description. I highly recommend you listen to that video, or at least that podcast, and get a lot of information that way. But a couple of summary items. First of all, the Model S and X is expected to have another refresh, or basically rebuilding those two vehicles. And he didn't really get into a lot of specifics, although we do expect to see maybe the Model X looking a lot different, maybe even larger. When it comes to the more affordable vehicle, that is on track to come out the first half of this year. We're going to be building here at Giga Texas, and they're going to be using the same production lines that the Model Ys use. And that's going to really help keep those costs down, get that product to market quickly, and hopefully we'll see that very soon. Now with the Cybercab, one of the most interesting things that he talked about is the body panels, and we found out that they are definitely going to be of a plastic material. In addition to that, they're going to be bonding in the paint with that plastic as they're doing the manufacturing. This is going to be really great when it comes to manufacturing, because it's going to reduce the entire painting process, and it's going to just make one panel and you can just put it onto the vehicle, and it's going to be using a process that is almost 100% automated on the production line. And in addition to that, because it is this plastic material, it will be both dent and rust resistant, and if you need to repair it later on, it will just be basically replacing a panel. So anyway, there's a lot of great things to look forward to, and again, look at that Ride the Lightning podcast for more information. Now here at Giga Texas today, this is another monumental day in that the old Model Y production has completely ceased, and they are fully doing the new Model Y production here today. Now I did see some of them exiting the factory in very small numbers and moving over towards the outbound lot, but I'm early in the morning, so it's a Monday, early in the morning, and they're just starting up that production. So I expect to see a lot more of them this week, but nonetheless, it's a big milestone for Giga Texas and Tesla, as all now 4 of the factories are making the new Model Y. Now the last thing that I want to just let you know about, and it has to do with my schedule. This week on Friday, we are expecting to see Starship's Flight 8 happen. So because of that, I'm going to be heading down on Wednesday, and there won't be any Giga Texas videos on Wednesday or Friday. However, I am hoping to get a new updated video from the Corpus Christi lithium plant on my way down, and of course the Starship flight. So a lot of great activity this week, both here at Giga Texas, at the lithium plant, and at Starbase, and I can't wait to share what I can find and get for you in the next week. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your support. So let's get into the drone fly around and see what Giga Texas looks like on this Monday.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas.
interesting and beautiful morning with the fog and some of that vapors coming up off of the roof going over this side of the factory, and at the same time we have a beautiful sunrise happening. So I was decided that I would fly along this side of the building, start looking back towards the east, and we can see not only that sun just coming up over the fog across the ground, but also these eerie clouds coming off of the roof right at us, and it will kind of obscure the drone here for a moment, and then we'll see the flags and the west main entrance, and it's kind of a very dramatic beginning to the video. So I hope that you enjoyed these views. I thought it was really fun to fly through them today. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do here on this side of the factory as we watch the sun come up is take a look at the exit point for the Model Ys, because today we are supposed to be seeing only the new Model Ys. They stopped all production of the old Model Ys on Friday, and today is the first day with all of the new Model Ys. Now what you see there are two of the security or the vehicles that are used to drive the drivers around. So those are not the new Model Ys, but we will see some of those a little later over at the outbound lot. It is early in the morning today, so I didn't get a chance to see them right there, but I did see them driving on the roads later on as I was flying around the rest of the factory. So it does look, in fact, like the new Model Y production changeover has occurred, and now it's just new Model Ys from now on. Now, while we're here on this side of the factory, I wanted to show you that they're putting up some more equipment on that temporary platform and what that window line is looking like with those concrete wall panels and kind of that funnel effect that widens up from the left to the right. And this wall on the inside here, I think, is going to be painted all black to match the one on the right. That way it'll make it look like a window line that goes all the way around this part of the factory, and then it blends into the original window line on the original part of the factory. So that all that work is going on today, and it's kind of nice to see how that will come along, and hopefully within a week or so that will be completed. And when I get back from Starbase, I'll be able to show you what that looks like. While we're here, I just thought I would get one more view of the sun coming up on the south end. I love the reflection on the glass and what we can see in the cyber pond. And I just thought this was quite the scenic shot. So I thought I would stop here momentarily, and then we'll go ahead and resume the flight. One of the other things I thought I would take advantage of with the light is to get a view of the fork in the road. And here it is. All the grass is starting to grow around it, which is very nice. Of course, the light posts on either side, and with the factory in the background and the nice pink clouds coming up off of the top of the roof. It's just very scenic look. So anyway, it was just kind of a cool thing to be able to see and fly today while we are here with this sunrise. As I come up over the roof, I wanted to show you the kind of section here where they have the darker gray panels. Almost all of them were replaced, or at least removed and then replaced back in. So I don't know if they were fixing a leak or some other issue. And of course, the conduit with the cables going along the parapet wall are where the go all the way up to the north end and will connect up to the switch yard eventually. Here's a view across the road towards that multi-level parking garage. Of course, all of the clouds kind of coming in to come around the drone, so it kind of gives a interesting look here. Now, one of the things I want to do for this video is occasionally I'm going to stop it and show you what it looked like in the same area 1 year ago today. And we'll start with this one. Just a year ago, this is what that south end looked like. We can see those 4 water tanks. That is what has all the water for the cooling system. And of course, only part of the superstructure was completed. Coming back today, this is what it looks like. So as you can tell, a lot of work has been completed. Of course, the cooling plant is now operational. We see at least 2 of the fan units in operation with the mist coming up, and what this south end looks like waiting for that window line to be installed. Now, while we're here, I'm going to continue to pull away, and I'm going to do another one of the look back shots. So I'll get to the position here, and then we'll look at what it appeared like back 1 year ago. And again, you can tell a lot of the progress. The cooling plant hadn't even really begun its work yet, although some of the glass was already installed. And of course, this is what it looks like today. So I'm going to continue to fly towards the east. We're right up top of the Colorado River, and I can show you the lined pond with some of the water in it, the River Road extension where you see those vans driving, and the workshop for the glass company. While we're here, let's look back 1 year ago. This is what the multi-level parking garage looked like. River Road had not been extended, and Robotic Avenue had not yet been paved. And as we come back to today, one other thing that I did notice going on at the roof of the parking garage, I'll give you a zoom in here, was they had another Model Y with LiDAR doing a lot of testing backing and forth on these parking garages. You can see the cones and some of the other poles in the area, and they were just doing this for an extended period of time. It looks like it's data collection to me, and possibly related to an upcoming full self-driving version that will be downloaded soon. But let's continue the flight around here, and we're going to go all the way over to the cathode plant, and we'll see what activity is going on over there today. As we approach the cathode plant, I'll stop the video one more time. We'll do a 1 year look back and see what this appeared like. You can see Tesla Road extension on the left, the old concrete plant, which is now removed by the die shop, and how the east side appeared. Coming back to present, you can definitely tell all of the earthwork that is being done at the top left of the screen, and the continued work to extend Tesla Road through this location. Now I'm going to bring the drone down lower as we fly over the steel corrugated pipe, which is part of that underground water management system, which will tie into the system at that clearing on the upper left. We can see more excavation, more trench boxes, and crews down in the bottom of those trenches working on more of those stainless steel or the steel corrugated pipes that will run through and connect into the existing system here. I'm going to fly up through the alleyway towards the cooling plant, and I'm going to bring the drone up. We'll look down at the plant to get an idea of how it is configured now. Not a lot of changes in the recent past, but they have done some cleanup on the roof with all of the heat exchangers, the pumps and pipes. And of course, all 4 of the fan units are working. Still waiting to see what they're going to do on that north end where the openings are located. But I'm going to pull away back to the east over the roof of the cathode building, bring the drone back down and show you what is going on here on the east side. Of course, the crash test facility and what it appears like today. It looks like they've been continuing to do some of the crash testing. We see a bunch of Cybertrucks up on the north end, either waiting for testing or waiting for their chance to be moved into the crash test facility. As we fly up over this northeast side, we can see a lot of the trucks bringing the dirt back and forth between the big clearing and then what we're seeing up here in the north. As we fly through some of the fog, this gives us an idea of what all of the concrete that is being recycled or at least crushed up here, and this gigantic mound of dirt. Now this looks like it's just going to be put here temporarily. It's not being compacted, it's not being shaped. I think this is just a large hill to maintain all of the dirt while other construction is going on. And we can see on the bottom left a larger section that has been added. Now I did notice there was activity on the southwest corner of this large clearing where you see all of the materials that are being stored. See some of the earthwork equipment going back and forth over towards this section. And I wanted to get a quick view of what was going on here. Looks like they are storing more of the dirt in this area, at least for a temporary purpose until it's needed elsewhere. Perhaps they'll start using that to get rid of the valleys and the hills that we are flying over right now. But I'm going to continue to fly towards the south, back towards the battery cathode plant. And we can get a nice view of this large clearing. Now, a couple of videos ago, I did a detail in-depth discussion about what this is going to be for. This is the campus, central campus support facility. It's going to have 3 large buildings and 2 very large 5 million gallon tanks. If you remember earlier in the video on that year look back in the south end, we saw those 4 tanks. Those are actually smaller in size than what we're going to see put in here at this clearing once it's completed. So I'm going to continue to fly over the die shop, look back across the work that is being done to flatten out and prepare the grade for that construction. Another thing I did notice is that we have a lot of utility vehicles near the power poles. So I suspect that they're going to be working to remove all of those power poles and power lines that used to serve the concrete batch plant. Now they are no longer needed, and they're going to ensure that these are removed. You can see where some of them have the islands still remaining. That's to make sure that they are not providing a hazard for the people that are working on the grade. Now, most of the work for the reclamation of the area is up here on the northwest corner, and much of the ponds and the hills are being flattened and leveled up, and more of the dirt brought in to bring up the depressions. So this is continuing to rapidly progress. The rate that they are going, I would think that within 2 weeks, all of this is going to be completely flat and level, and we'll start seeing the next phase of construction on this site. But I'll keep pulling away, working my way towards the west so you can get a good overall look at this site. And as I mentioned, if you look back a couple of videos, I show you exactly what that's going to look like with the site plan. While we're on this side of the location or the site, I wanted to fly back along the electrical switch yard. Now, at some point in the future, right below the drone, we're going to see that electrical switch yard doubled in size and kind of right in the area that we are flying. So much of the work on the ground that you see here is in preparation for that expansion. As we fly towards this area, I'll go 1 year back just to show you what this appeared like. You can see there's been a lot of changes. This used to be the old temporary electrical switch yard, and it was in final stages of being disassembled 1 year ago. Coming back to today, we can see all of the work here for the new Megapack site, the conduits on the bottom right of the screen. And I believe there are 38 of these transformers, plus the beams where the Megapacks will be installed. Now, it is interesting that all of these transformers are new to the site. These are not the ones that were stored over on the west side. However, as we will see later in the video, most of the transformers that have been stored for about a year now or so are being removed and driven off the site. I actually saw that happening, and so we'll talk about that a little later in the video. But this is what the new Megapack looks like, and of course on the top of the screen is the original Megapack site for comparison. So I'm going to turn the drone back to the south. Let's fly over to the northeast corner of the factory. Zoomed in with the early morning light, this gives us a great look into the baghouse filtration plant, the work that's being done on the left, and the melt plant and the furnace loading system, and of course that blast wall that has been installed on that site. And as I bring the drone up to a higher altitude, we can take a look at the casting material and staging lot in the north part. Not a lot of castings at this time. We do see some of the rack mounts and some equipment, but otherwise really not being used for castings at this point in time. As I zoom in, I want to show you this. This is important. These are all of the stands that are used for the old Model Y bumpers and other parts that are painted. These are all no longer needed as they are no longer manufacturing the older version of the Model Y. And these are all out here for future recycling. So it's a great indication, again, of what is going on inside the factory as they've completed their transition over. As I look back 1 year, this gives you an idea of what the east side of the casting machine looked like. We see that berm being widened, and on the upper right you can just see the excavation for the baghouse filtration plant. Of course, this is what it looks like today. So again, a lot of transformation in just 1 year of this part of the factory. So I'm going to turn back towards the west. We can see the conduits and the open vaults on the bottom left of the screen. And if you look on the roadway on the right, you'll see 2 Cybercabs being tested, one going to the tent and the other one driving right underneath the drone. I saw a lot of those Cybercabs today, and I will release a separate video showing some of that action. While we are here, I'll show you the mounts or the stands for the new bumpers for the new Model Ys, also for the spoiler and some of the caps for the mirrors. And we've seen a lot more of that been moved into the paint shop, and that is what is being used to support the painting. There was also another Cybercab that just went underneath the drone for a brief second. Now I'm going to zoom in here. This looks very interesting to me because a lot of this talks about a Model Y and part of the construction process. These are all new, and this is something that was not used for the previous generation Model Y. We also see additional racks on the right-hand side of the screen. This looks like they have most likely changed some of the production processes that are used for manufacturing parts of the new Model Y. Perhaps it's also in support of the new lower cost vehicle that'll be seen later on in the year. But anyway, it's an important part of what they are doing with production lines on the inside of the factory. As we fly along the west side of the factory again, we pass that new entrance and the stands on the left-hand side of the screen. I wanted to come back and check and see if we have any of the new Model Ys coming off of the production line before we head over to the west side of the site. And as I arrive, we can see one of the new Model Ys leaving the area, heading to the south. But otherwise, I think we just missed a group of Model Ys that departed. But they all come out of that opening with that black ramp. They'll be temporarily marshaled here, or more likely, now that they are going to be using autonomous driving, they'll just drive out of the factory and then continue on their own all the way over to the outbound lot. I do hope to be able to get some video of that in action so that I can show you definitively that that is going on. But to ultimately, that is what the plan is for movement of those new Model Ys. So as we get past the flags and approach the road, we'll go ahead and continue on the other side of the road. I wanted to show you the activity at the end of line facility. Mostly just Cybertrucks at the instant of time that I flew by. We can see that the outbound lot itself on the upper right-hand side of the screen is almost completely empty of vehicles. What we do see are some Cybertrucks, and then here on the north end, we see a line of Model Ys. Almost all of these are new Model Ys. And I think that these may be the ones that we saw on Friday, so they might be some of the last of the pre-customer delivery or final Model Ys that are going to be starting to be made today. But this is a nice line of them, and I'll zoom in so you can get a good view of what these all look like. As you can tell, most of them are the new Model Ys with a few other older Model Ys and other vehicles sprinkled in. But I don't think any of those are for customers. What we will see is this large lot with the outbound lot filling up the rest of the week as production begins to ramp up considerably with the new Model Y. to come over towards the material staging yard. You can see the truck that was just driving by that's taking some of the transformers you see in the upper right off of site. Now, looking back 1 year ago, this is what it appeared like. You can tell that none of the transformers, in fact, a lot of the workshops and very few of the equipment items are in the upper left that we are now waiting for them to be moved into the factory. You can also tell that there's been a lot more equipment, containers, vehicles, of course the transformers here that are being moved onto the trucks and then taken off site, and a lot of changes in just a year. Now with these transformers, I did watch the trucks and they drove along the road here in the middle of the West Support Facility up to Tesla Road underneath the North Bridge, and then they continued north on State Highway 130 off of Giga Texas. So I'm not sure what the use is for those transformers. Perhaps it has something to do with the Cybercab unveiling coming up later in the year and ensuring that we have the charging stations where the Cybercabs need to be. So if I can get more information, I will like to follow up on that and let you know later on. This part of the site is where some more of the transformers and equipment are being stored, and not really a lot of changes here from what I saw in the previous time I flew. But I'll continue to watch what's going on with all of those transformers on this side, as well as the other ones that are just in the middle top of the screen in that material staging yard. So I'm going to turn back towards the east, look across the west warehouse on wheels, of course the end of line and the outbound lot on the upper left. The factory now more into the sun, a lot less of the fog. And while I'm here, I'll show you the concrete work that is going on with this sunk caisson on this side of the highway. And we can see there's at least 2 of the pump trucks, and each of those have 2 of the concrete trucks. And you can see that they're doing a little bit of the testing on the ground here, but all of this, once it's cleaned out and it's got the actual concrete, will be poured on the inside of that caisson. Most likely, they are making the final floor of this sunk caisson. And from this perspective, get a kind of a nicer view of what is going on. Couldn't quite see all the way down into the caisson because of the position of the crane. But as I come up to a higher altitude and zoom back out, this gives a nice overall look at what is going on as they complete this caisson. And for those that want to know, I did do a standalone video. It's in my playlist on my YouTube channel if you would like to know what exactly the caissons and the water intercept system is for and why they are building it here. I'm going to bring the drone down a little bit lower, take a look at the Cyber Tunnel, and see what that looks like today. It is not being used at the moment, and I am not sure exactly why, but hopefully as they continue to finish up the Model Y production, bring that online, and the Cybertruck line up and running even faster, we'll see a lot more of that when I get back from Starbase. So I'm going to do kind of a grand pull away all the way to the north so you can get a good view of how all of this looks and its relation to the main factory. I hope you enjoyed that big pull away, get a good sense of where everything is located here on the west side of the highway. As always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you when I get back from Starbase. Take care.